All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Harakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. And salutations to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. This is Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not. Okay, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai gave us, the truth. He gave us faith. He gave us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as a form of mercy. Okay, so you knowing the truth should exhort you already that you don't faint. Now, there is times where we get weak in the spirit. The flesh, all right, tries to subdue the spirit. Okay, you get demons that make you feel like you're, that you're wicked, that you're unrepairable. Okay, you're unforgivable, I should say. But that's just the demon's job. And that's the condition of the battle. Okay, the condition of the battle, is that you're going to be, a spiritual being, okay, a part of the hopeful elect. You have this wisdom, but you're in the flesh, man. All right, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, man. And that's why we have to, pray. That's why we have to read. That's why we have to, communicate. And also, that's why we have to work out our salvation. Okay, you got to do the work. All right, doing the work. Okay, being in it. All right, it battles, the flesh and the things that come with the flesh, the demons, man. It says, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai deceitfully, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, if you're sincere, you ain't going to be deceitful, man. All right, you're not going to be in the faith feigning to be a just man. You're not going to be a hypocrite, okay, in the sight of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai and in the sight of men. Okay, you're not going to be talking about how you are a peace bringer, okay, that you're merciful, when clearly you're not, okay? Clearly you're not. And mercy doesn't mean, okay, that every second of the hour, okay, you just a nice guy, man. Okay, mercy is also, you admonishing one another, man. Okay, because none of us are perfect. Okay, all of us are guilty of past sins. Okay, now if we're chosen, those sins, all right, is going to be forgiven us, man. Okay. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. All right. So if what we're preaching doesn't make sense to somebody, that's because they're lost. That's because they were not meant to be found. That's because they were not meant to get it. Okay. That's why you got men that come in and fall out, men that come in and bug out, men that come in with get the bits and pieces of the understanding, or might get it, and then just try to throw dirt in the cistern, try to dig, try to undig those wells. Okay, because this word is like living water. Okay, a well, you dig a pit for a well, and water comes up out of the ground. Like them Canaanites, they were throwing dirt back in our wells, man. After our forefather Abraham built them up, okay, they were patching those wells up, man. Well, that's what you're doing by spreading deceit, by preaching fables, man. Okay? The gospel is the good news, and the good news is that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai created us to be his people, and that his son, Yahweh Shai, was a sacrifice, for our sins, man. Okay, for the remission of sins. Okay? Not that you're going to be perfect and, go around cussing people out. No, man. Okay, go around and talking about how the apostles were wrong and no. This is verse 4. In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. And Satan, the God of this world, with his physical counterpart, who is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, they have went around blinding you people, man. Okay, teaching you and having you believe in a lie. Okay. Now, if you are out there, teaching with your head covered, all right, you've been blinded, man, by the God of this world. Okay, when you read in the book of Maccabees, I believe it's the book of Maccabees. I was talking about it with the brother the other day. How it's a clear sign these dudes sold out. Okay. The Greeks, man, they made our people, that were subject, that were just like, fuck it. We can't beat them, joined up with Esau and the heathen. Said they made them wear a hat, man. They made them wear a hat. And you see these fucking dudes with fitted hats. Okay, you got that bug out Baltimore, previously known as, I believe, GMS Lion of Baltimore. Okay, now he's Lion of Baltimore, or he had another channel called Mighty Lion of Judah Baltimore or something like that. Even that guy's got his head covered. Now I don't know if he's sold out, like he's getting paid, but he's bugged the fuck out. Okay. Hey man, we're getting to that time where dudes are really wigging the fuck out, man. Dudes are gonna really bug the fuck out. Okay. It said, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. And they don't believe no more. Okay, here it is. They're talking about how the apostles are not the, not the heads, not the true men of the Lord. Here it is. They're learning from somebody else, but they still watch the brothers at Great Mills. Like, no, man. You can't be mixing doctrines, man. It says, lest the light of the glorious gospel of a Mashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, the Lord, and ourselves your servants, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai's sake, for Yahweh Shai's sake. Okay, this is first and foremost about Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay. Their story, their prophecy. Okay, Yahweh Shai laying his life down for us to receive the wisdom, mercy, redemption, man. Okay, and that we are the true Hebrew Israelites, and no other nation can receive this and be saved, man. See, in the kingdom, the other nations, they're going to be our tributaries, our servants, our slaves forever. Okay, they're not going to receive the same blessing. They're not going to be immortal like them bug outs are teaching, man. Okay, yeah, we're going to teach them our laws, statutes, commandments. And if they don't keep them, well, the wages of sin is death. And they're never going to be able to keep them perfectly. That's what's going to keep the cycle, the duality, okay, of righteousness and wickedness, man. All right, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is a perfect balance. There's got to be good and evil. There's got to be up and down. There's got to be left and right. There's got to be light and darkness, man. So it's gonna always be there. Okay? It's just we're gonna be righteous, we're gonna be gods, we're gonna be perfect. And all the other nations are not. Okay? It says, for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh in the face of Yahushua Mashiach. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power be of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai and not of us. So we have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in earthen vessels, in these physical bodies, in these tainted bodies, in these bodies that are prone to going off. Okay, we have nothing to glory of when it comes to us ourselves as of right now, because we can still die, we still get sick, we get weak. Okay, but nevertheless, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, gave this to it's lucky. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai gave this to, us. All right. Us Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American men. Okay. In incorruptible bodies. But soon we will be made, in incorruptible bodies, but soon we are going to become incorruptible. Okay. So that being said, man, none of us are perfect, but we do have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Somebody's got to be of the elect. Okay. And if you think, your shit don't stink, that you're unrebukable. Okay. If you think you're of the elect already, hey, man, think again, man. Start praying, because it ain't looking good for a lot of you guys out there, man. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem, Arakakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Had to make this quick. All right, I'm at work. Got to clock in. Shalom.